What's up, everybody? It's Hunter Avalone here, back with another video, and today we are going to be reviewing H3H3 debating Jesse Lee Peterson. Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson, the guy who is so dumb he makes your drunk uncle look like Albert Einstein. This guy is going to spontaneously debate Ethan Klein from the H3H3 podcast. So why don't we fire up some video games and start watching this?
Okay, that should do it better now.
Hello, Jesse. How do we?
Yes, sir.
There we go. That's much better.
Oh,
we can hear you now.
Good. So how we doing? Are you live? Are you doing your show right now? Or are you just calling into ours?
No, I'm just on yours.
Yeah.
My show is in the mornings.
Okay. We're live, so it's what it is. But you're a radio man. You know about live broadcasts.
Are we on right now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So thanks for calling. I've been a somewhat, you might say, a fan. I love the way you interview people, although I'll be upfront with you. I'm a lib. You might call me a beta male.
Oh, beta.
Yeah. Right.
Instant memes. Gotta appreciate that.
How is Moses doing?
Are you? That's like, I don't know which way to take that.
Wow.
You mean like Moses the prophet or like Moses my brother-in-law?
Moses, your brother-in-law.
How do you know Moses? Why would you even ask that?
Everybody know Moses.
What?
Even God knows Moses.
Wait, what? How's your brother-in-law doing? Wait, is he just trolling?
Why did you ask me that?
Because I just wonder how you're doing. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Wait, stop. Why did you ask me how's Moses?
Because I haven't seen him in a minute, so I just wonder how he was doing.
Know? So you've seen Moses?
Oh, yeah. Everybody know Moses.
So you're talking about the prophet?
No, I'm talking about your brother-in-law.
Okay. You've already got me all twisted up. This is what I'm saying. You got this interview skills that you've already got me discarded. All right, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson has the interview skills. It's called schizo posting, nonstop and aggressively, so it throws off everyone else.
Why you just got about asking how he was doing?
You don't know my brother-in-law.
Well, how would I know to ask about him then?
But then how do you know him?
He got married, right?
Oh, stop it.
I know what's going on.
Who did he get married to?
Some crazy woman.
The hell?
I was surprised that Moses married a crazy woman because he seemed to have more common sense than that.
So I don't know what's happening. I don't know if there's a producer that knows all this stuff that's feeding you lines. How did you meet Moses?
He came to my office.
Okay, this is so made up.
I can't tell you all that.
Oh my God. Okay.
He was here for a meeting.
Okay, all right.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. So Jesse, let's just get into it because I understand you only have an hour. You have a show called The Fallen State, correct?
Right.
So what is The Fallen State? What does that mean?
The Fallen State is really a show of different conversations. And what I realized is that human beings are in a fallen state and they live in their imagination, which is hell, and that their nature...
Okay, not every human is in a fallen state. I mean, Jesse Lee Peterson definitely is in a fallen state. I mean, his IQ is really in a fallen state, but this doesn't mean all humans are in a fallen state per se.
...is evil. And that's why they treat each other, though we're all created in God's image, they treat each other, I don't anymore, but if they treat each other like hell, like the lack of love, because they're living in the darkness of their imagination. They're in a fallen state and don't know it.
Doesn't Jesse Lee Peterson shit on gay people consistently? Where's the love in his heart?
He says that we're created in God's image.
Right.
It seems that you're maybe a little insulting to God because you just said that his image is his imagination is hell.
But no, they're not living. They have been turned away from the Father, so they're not living from his image. Oh. That's why we must be born again. We must return to the Father.
But do they
who are born of the woman is living in hell because they have anger. They have their mother's nature, and so their nature is evil. But when they return to the Father...
So again, we have to have the wonderful, loving attitude or something, and then anyone who comes from a woman is evil. So I guess we're all evil then?
Then their nature returned to good.
I see. So women's nature is evil.
Yes, because Satan is the woman's God.
Satan is woman's God. Jeez.
Yeah, the God above is the man's God.
Yeah.
And the God below is the woman's God. That's why all who are born through the woman are born into hell.
Are you for real?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe that for real?
Without a doubt. How do you think you became angry?
I'm not angry.
You don't have anger?
I'm an alpha male.
You don't have anger?
I get angry sometimes. Does that mean that my mom is the devil?
I'm sorry?
it seems kind of reductive to say, oh, you've been angry, which is a common human emotion. Everybody's felt it at one time or
True.
another. Anyone who's lived, and to say that it's because your mother is a Satanist or something like that.
And you're right. Every human being are born into hell, and that's why we must be born again.
So
of
the fallen
Father.
state is that we're all born of
God
women?
said there will come a day when I return the children to the fathers and the fathers to the children. Every human being must be born of the Father in order to have perfect peace, in order to live on this earth in perfect peace.
Can a
But you
woman
gotta-
can a woman live a righteous life if their God is the devil? Do they have a shot?
Absolutely.
They can. So what do they need to do to live a righteous life?
They too have to do as the man have to do. They have to forgive their mothers for imposing her will on them and turning them away from their fathers and recreating them in her image. And once they forgive their mother, don't ask for forgiveness, but forgive her for what she's done. She could not help it.
What if
And
your mom
once they
didn't do
forgive
anything
their
wrong?
Once they forgive their mothers, then they forgive their fathers for not protecting them from the mother. He can handle her because he married to his mama. You become
Wait, what
attracted
if
to
your
you hate.
mom didn't do anything wrong? What if you have a nice mom who's great and she didn't do anything?
Good
That doesn't
question.
exist.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
There's okay, okay, good. So what are the sins of the mother? What are they?
Is anger, jealousy.
Wait, anger and jealousy? These are like really commonly stereotypically masculine things. Anger? Men are literally socialized to believe that being angry is like one valid emotion that they can express. Jealousy? Men are ridiculously jealous. Women can be jealous too. That's just a human thing. Again, this is just like normal human emotion that he's just pinning on women for some weird reason. Jesse Lee Peterson's gay, right? There's no way a straight person could ever hate women this much.
Envy, strife.
But you feel all
revenge.
that.
I'm sorry?
But you feel all those emotions. That's not a feminine emotion.
No, it's a mother's emotion. It is a feminine emotion because Satan is a feminine spirit.
But you feel anger, right?
No, I never feel anger.
You've never felt
anger.
anger.
No, I just said I never have felt it. I did 30-something years ago. But when I forgave my mother who resented my father and tried to turn me away from him,
Hmm.
God forgave me. And he took that
Oh,
spirit
so
away.
this is all making sense now. So all of Jesse Lee Peterson's political beliefs seem to be a massive projection based on the fact that his mom treated his father terribly. So because of this, he thinks all women are like evil or something. Really? Could you be less predictable, please?
So I don't feel anger anymore.
Well, I'm very happy for you. But my mom,
I'm
and how
happy-
dare you speak about my mother like that, Jesse? I'll have you know she's a great lady.
No such thing.
Yeah, this guy's gay.
Man, you really hate your mom, don't you?
No, I love my mother now, but all children hate their mothers. And that
That's
until
crazy
they-
because the famous psychological analysis by the great Sigmund Freud says the opposite. Kids want to f their mothers. What are your thoughts on that?
They do because you do want to F the person you hate.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
What?
You become attracted to the person that you hate.
Are you attracted to your mother?
What?
No, I don't hate my mother anymore.
Oh, okay. When you hated her, were you
If
attracted to her?
if you notice in your life, every woman you get involved with, just like your mother, you can handle her because you never overcame your mother.
When you
And
were
so
a-
you're still attracted
Maybe
to that
that's just-
same spirit.
when you were angry at your mom, were you sexually attracted to her?
Not her, but women like her. It was
Oh,
the same
okay.
spirit.
Okay. Let's go back to the top here because we could go
So
down
keep
this.
in mind that it is a thing that like people sometimes will date people that are similar to their parents in certain ways. This is like a psychological phenomenon that's been studied for a really long time. And Jesse Lee Peterson, in his drunken schizo rant, is concluding that the reason for this is actually because everybody hates their mom. Like, I don't even know what to say.
This rabbit hole forever. So let me ask you about: are you married?
No,
Do you have children?
I do. I have a son.
Beta. Only one son?
I made a son first.
You only have
Beta
one
males
son.
Make,
but
beta
you're-
males make girls first. Alpha males make boys first.
Hold on, Jesse. You're telling me you had a child out of wedlock? Beta.
That's true. Then I was in a fallen state. You're
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
right. But then I have 2 grandkids, adult grandkids now, and then 2 great grandkids and 1 on the way.
Why were you never married, Jesse? That seems like a great, frankly, in your line of work and with your values, it seems like that would be a real shortcoming of yours that you're single still.
And why is that?
Well, don't you live for family values, good Christian family values?
You can live for them without having to be married. Jesus never married. God wasn't married. Paul wasn't married, but yet they stood for those values.
Okay. So then, well, let me put it this way. I have 3 boys and I'm married.
Nice.
I'm alpha as
all the way.
Right. Okay, good. I wanted to get that out there. I couldn't sit here with you calling me beta. I would crumble. I couldn't deal with it. You've said,
Amazing.
but I hope you're not offended when I do say you are kind of beta.
No, I'm not offended by that at all.
Okay, good. Because you are.
Thank you.
Oh, good. You have said previously that you are afraid of affirmative action policies. What do you mean by
boy.
that?
Well, affirmative action is set up in order to keep the blacks weak and dependent on government and not ever growing and becoming their best in their talent and what they can do. And so what it does is discriminate against the ones who earn their way, and it gives it to those who do not earn their way. And it's just not right. It's evil. It's wrong for the person that
This is not true. Affirmative action is far more focused on equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. So what really happens is, like, if there are job listings, for example, and there's a neighborhood or certain area where there is disproportionate unemployment, maybe minority area with disproportionate unemployment, then they would just put out more job ads in that area to try and attract more people there to apply for their job. That's it. It's not like you just are going to be given equal outcome. It's far more focused on equal opportunity.
they're giving it to who are not earning their way. And it's also wrong against the people who are earning their way. It's just not, it's an evil plan, and it's not working at all. It's causing nothing but confusion.
And so, what crucial occupations do you think is being overrun with affirmative action types of people that's harming the industry?
Well, nowadays it's everything really. We just heard a report that I talked about on my show. They're hiring air traffic controllers and pilots and things like that, and these people are not qualified, and they are getting rid of the white people who are qualified, and they're putting the unqualified people there. And you see it in the military. They're even talking now about doing it in the medical field. They're giving these people these positions without earning their way. Not only is it not good for the individuals themselves, but it's not good for the country.
How can I, as somebody who's trying to identify affirmative action where things are vulnerable, how do I identify an affirmative action person who's in a spot that they shouldn't be?
Well, you can see, you can question them about did they earn their way, but you can see in the way that they operate, they do not operate at their best.
Are you an affirmative action radio host?
I'm not.
How do I know?
That's the problem with it. And you're right about that. You make a good point, because now that the blacks are getting affirmative action and reparation and all that for so many years, you do have black.
This is not true, by the way, either. Like, affirmative action does not give jobs to people that are not qualified. That'd be ridiculous.
But how would you know, since you know affirmative action is set up for the blacks?
It's just
it's like Justice Clarence Thomas, for example. He earned his way. He worked hard. He came from a tough background.
Yeah,
but because he's black.
Yeah, but black people have to work harder disproportionately on average because of previous historical inequalities.
Yeah.
It's hard for anyone to accept that he's earned his way because he's black. So everybody just assume that that the blacks are not earning their way. They are part of the affirmative action program.
So that's
okay,
possible.
so that's
Really
called
does.
other people being racist. So if other people are too racist to recognize what affirmative action is, and they think anytime a black person is successful, it must just be because of affirmative action, that's called those people being racist. This isn't the fault of affirmative action. This is the fault of racist people, Jesse. I thought you said we're in a fallen state. Don't blame the policy, okay? Blame the fallen state.
So it really does a bad job for all the blacks, to be honest.
What about like white Nepo babies who are born into tremendous wealth and privilege, and they can pretty much skate into any field, any kind of job that they want because maybe their parents have leverage and they know people and all this? Isn't that, in a sense, as dangerous as affirmative action, or perhaps even more?
Did you say what kind of babies?
Nepotism babies.
What's that?
Nepotism is when you get favored treatment because of a family member.
There's nothing wrong with that. That always happens in society.
But don't you think that putting
it even
out...
happens,
But if they're not qualified...
It even happens in the black society. You have family members who know someone that knows someone. It's common sense that they're going to refer you.
Right, but if you're if you're at like Harvard Law, you're going to get fast tracked into one of these big law firms, and maybe you're not good. Maybe you're not even good at school. Maybe your father just bought like a wing at the Harvard University and so I don't want that guy as my attorney. Do you?
I mean, I'm not against personal referrals.
Right.
I don't agree with affirmative action based on color.
So what about affirmative action for Native Americans?
For the Indians,
Yeah. Those are the ones.
My affirmative action shouldn't be for anyone. The Indians need to put down the pot, and they call it
Jeez.
peyote or something, right?
Oh,
They need to put down a peyote and get up and earn from themselves. The beauty about life, if you are an individual, you think and do for yourself, there's no one or nothing in life that can stop you. And America, when I was growing up, was that way. And now it has been, individuality has been deemed to be something bad. And there's this group thinking now. And so the group is always in a...
You were just shitting on affirmative action when affirmative action is designed to give people help when they need it so that they can continue pursuing individuality, so they can have a job, so they can support themselves and their families and their dependents. That's called being an individual. But you're against some policies in place to help people achieve this individuality.
Beautiful, I can't make it, needed mode. That's why I believe that we must return to being individuals, one nation under God.
But Jesse, you participate in groupthink.
What do you mean?
Well, you're part of a movement, the manosphere, right? This conservative online movement about teaching young men that everything is not their fault. It's the world's fault that they're, not successful, or that, they're
He's
gay
not gonna
'cause
like
they
that
hate their
framing.
mom or whatever.
I'm not part of any movement.
Well, why do I hear so many people saying that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I started Bond 34 years ago, and I didn't know anyone at the time, but I started because I realized, and at that time I realized that the blacks were suffering because they had been turned away from their fathers, and the Democrats and others were telling it. Also, the so-called civil rights leaders were telling the blacks that they were suffering because of racism, and I knew that was a lie. So I started Bond, my nonprofit, Rebuilding the Man.
Black people weren't suffering because of racism? It's all just a lie. Racism is just a big lie, everybody. Thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson. I hope that he tunes in next time and tells me that cancer is a lie, so that everybody who currently has cancer will be all better now.
And the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny.
Even during Jim Crow, that racism was a lie?
Let me just finish this.
Go ahead.
To encourage blacks to not fall for the lie that some white man can hold them back, right? And so I started Bond 35 years ago. And I wasn't, and still am not a part of any movement, but just to encourage the men and women to return back to the Father.
So,
what were you saying about Jim Crow?
You're saying even back then there was no such thing as racism?
Right. No such
even
thing.
Jim Crow?
Right.
That's not racist to say that black people need to drink from a different fountain.
No.
No.
What?
As a matter of fact, I grew up, as you know.
Wait. Okay, so he's just saying that racism isn't real because he doesn't know the definition of it then. Oh, okay.
Under the Jim Crow laws, and blacks and whites got along better back then than they do today. Because back then...
Wasn't the KKK like hanging? I mean, sorry to be uncouth, but I'm pretty sure the KKK was like killing black people then.
What?
They were just like, right? Like, I mean, they were just doing that. I don't know.
No, that's not true.
There was lynchings and stuff happening back then. You don't see those
That's not
today.
true. That's not true.
Oh, so what's the truth about the KKK?
First, let me tell you about the Jim Crow.
Okay.
During those days, the blacks worked for themselves. They had family. They had fathers and mothers and grandparents, and they worked for themselves. And they taught their children to work, and they taught their children to treat people the way that they would like to be treated. And then the whites did the same thing. They too taught their children to work and be independent and to treat people the way they would like to be treated. And as a result, the blacks bought land. They had trades. They bought, if they wanted to go to a trade school or college, they went and did that. And they came back as professionals.
This dude is just, he's like, well, they all had their jobs and everything. Yeah, they had their own jobs for black people only, so they could go back to their black people only neighborhood and stick to their black people only water fountains. Like, you're just mentioning that, well, they had jobs and stuff. Yeah, but like, what were the earnings of their jobs compared to the jobs of white people? What were the opportunities for jobs compared to white people?
And they didn't have false leaders. Someone leaded them. God was the head of the family, and the father was the head of the wife and the children. And so
God was the head of the family? Why would you literally be advocating that everybody has an absent head of the household? What? Why would you want God to be the head of the household? You'd be better off just setting people up with an absent father.
it wasn't until the civil rights movement came along. No such thing as civil rights, by the way, but when the civil rights movement started, it started...
But Jesse, if Jim Crow happened, if that never If that was still in place, you wouldn't be talking to me now.
You don't know that. Why would I?
Because everything was segregated. As a white man, probably, I'm not. You know what? I was one of the good ones. I would have never gone there. But however, there'd be people
But
saying,
that's
"No,
not
don't
true
talk to a white man."
That's not true.
No?
Because even under the Jim Crow law, black and white people talk to one another. If they wanted to talk, they got along. Those who want to get along.
So
But you have to realize,
Yeah, so the non-racist white people were all chill talking to black people. But then for the racist white people who owned businesses and controlled employment and the local economy, if they decided that they didn't want black people in their businesses or hiring them or anything like that, well, that was also a-okay, you know? How does he not realize that this would seriously hinder anyone's ability to pursue their own happiness and become an individual in this country?
you have evil people, and there are some people who return to good.
Let me hit you with the stat. Between 1882 and 1986, now you were born in 1949, so you were probably in your 20s, somewhere in this time frame at the end of it. There was 4,743 lynchings that occurred in the United States during that time period. Is that racist?
I don't even know if that number is true because you have to realize that the human heart is wicked and that the people make up numbers in order to get what they want.
Why won't you
I
admit
don't
that
even know
hanging
Wait,
black people is racist?
Why can't you just acknowledge that if you're willing to admit that people have wicked hearts, couldn't it be possible that some people had wicked hearts and they used their wickedness to enact racism and kill black people on the basis of them being black?
Sorry?
Why won't you admit that hanging black people is racist?
Oh, because it's not. If that was happening, if that was happening, it was evil. Our battle is a battle
Well,
between.
no, they were like, well, the KKK is like, we hate black people, and so we're going to hang them.
and also,
They say that. They actually said that. They're like, this
Right.
is, and so that's not racist.
no, it's hatred. It's either
Okay.
good or evil.
Does
Our
racism
battle-
exist?
Wait.
Is racism real?
You asking me a lot of questions.
Okay, so if there's hatred, is there such a thing as hatred on the basis of somebody's skin color? Because in that case, you realize then you're just acknowledging racism, right?
Calm down.
Whoa.
You're not letting me
this.
answer.
Hold on,
You're
Jesse.
not letting me answer the one you're asking.
This
You're
is how
like
you interview
asking,
people.
and before I can answer, you run to something else.
Go ahead.
And so
I'll give you space.
we're not finalizing any conversation. What the? What's wrong
What?
with you?
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm sorry, Jesse. Go ahead. I'm trying to interview like you interview people.
That's not how I interview.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I know how you interview.
No. According to Wikipedia, 1,000 plus white people were lynched. Was that racist?
It could have been, it depending on
Why?
the situation.
No. Racism is a made up word. The word racist is a made up word to cover up evil and in order to divide and conquer. When I was in Alabama, there was no such word as racism. It was
That's
either
not true.
right. It was either right or wrong, good
So
or evil.
what?
There's no such thing as racism.
Wait, so before the word existed, the thing didn't exist either? Okay, so before we came up with the term gravity, gravity just didn't exist. Really? That's the approach you're going to take there, buddy boy? Okay.
So racism, it just means evil. But that, again, that seems reductive. I mean, there's different
No,
types of evil.
racism doesn't mean evil. Racism is just a word. It has no meaning.
Do words have any meaning?
No,
No word. Words don't
Wait,
mean
do
anything.
words ever
not
mean
at
this?
all.
Oh, man. How are we going to pin you down on anything? What are you doing then? What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Well, your words don't have meaning.
Right,
Well, how can you say that?
because it's true. I mean,
But you're
practical
talking to me.
words-
right now, dude.
Practical words have meaning. Practical words have meaning because, what you're going to have for dinner. Your wife might ask you, what do you want for dinner or what type of house you want to buy? But those are practical words. We don't live by those words. And those other words are only used to keep people down in order to control them for personal gain.
But that doesn't mean they don't exist.
God's voice is a voiceless voice.
Okay.
And the voice of evil is a voice that you hear in your head that sounds like you.
God's voice is a voiceless voice. How do you know when God's talking? Well, you'll hear nothing. The less that you hear, the more God is actually talking, you see. Wow, that is so convenient. So that means that anytime you don't hear anything, you can just say it's God. And anytime you hear anything in your head, like, hey, maybe it'd be good to have a sandwich right now, you can just decide it's the devil. Smart.
And they always lies all the time. All thoughts are all, except for practical ones, all thoughts are all lies all the time.
All thoughts are all lies?
All the time.
Jeez,
Wow.
man. That sounds like you're in a
Except-
prison. You're in a hell of your own making, man.
Except for practical thought. And you're right. People who live in their
But
thoughts,
everybody thinks.
those who believe thoughts are living in hell, in their own
Interesting,
hell
wow.
within themselves.
Very interesting.
Just think about a thought that there are people who have committed suicide because a thought told them to commit suicide. There are people
That's
who are
not how that works.
depressed and have fear and lonely and all these things because they have believed thoughts, not because it's real, but they have believed a lie. They believe thoughts.
Let's move on to another topic.
He's like butchering the. So it's true that if you have consistent negative thoughts and you believe them, that can definitely like decrease your overall well-being and mood and everything else. That doesn't mean that all thoughts are lies. Like I don't even know what to. I don't even know what to say to that because that's such a ludicrous statement. Like, no, just if there are some thoughts that you can have that are lies, doesn't mean all thoughts that you have are lies.
Why do you call Trump the Great White Hope?
The Great White Hope. I'm glad you mentioned him.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what he has to say.
He's back.
He's back.
Basically, all I've done is keep my promise.
That's why I call him the Great White Hope.
Is there a whole bunch of sounds, or is that the only one?
There are a whole bunch of them.
Let me hear some more.
Friends in the morning, they're very honorable people.
Wow.
From this day forward, it's going to be only America first.
So
I rest my case.
yeah, okay.
ISIS has
So
spread
do you
like
love
cancer.
white
This is
people
Trump.
more? Do you love white
This
people?
is Trump right here.
Yeah, we love Trump. He's the.
Yeah.
But why point out his skin color? Why do you refer to Trump's skin color? Why does that matter?
Because he's a white man. He did when he was president an amazing job
Yeah, but if racism isn't real, then why are you obsessing over race?
on America. He gave a lot of people hope. And he's great at what he's done. He worked for the people and not against them.
You have one of these?
I don't have one of those.
He's hot. Looks good. Okay, but that doesn't
So
explain
I'm glad to know that you support him, though.
why. Well, personally, I think Obama was a great president. What do you think
No, you
about that?
don't. You're playing.
No, he did a lot of great things. And
Like
talk about
what?
hope. He gave people lots of hope.
What did he do that was great?
What did he do? Those? He was chill.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
He was chill. See, this is where Ethan's like half serious, half kidding demeanor really plays well for him.
He had Big Mama. And so what did he do that was great?
What did Trump do that's great?
He did drilling, brought back jobs. He built a wall, almost completed a wall around.
No, there's no wall. Come on,
around the
Jesse. There's no
borders.
wall.
He didn't complete the wall, and when Joe Biden became president,
He did like
Instead of-
1%.
instead of completing the wall, he stopped the work.
Jesse, you're
Yeah, and Trump also gave tax cuts to rich people, which literally had a huge detrimental effect on the middle class. He also put tariffs, started a useless trade war with China, which caused the prices of electronics over here in America to go up for the consumer. So even if Trump saved us money or brought jobs back somehow or one way or another, that's arguable, to be honest, anyway. But even if he did these things, he did it at the cost still of the American consumer. So it wasn't really that great.
Respected us around the world.
What?
And the people.
Why did they say this? Why did they say other countries respected us or people respected us around the world? That is literally bullshit. You know, you can look at Pew Research studies, which have found that internationally speaking, the like overall world's view of Trump was not very positive. People did not like Trump. People did not think he was very good. People did not have more respect for America when Trump was president. Overwhelmingly, the majority of statistics show that internationally anyway, people respect Biden more. Yeah. Sorry. Hate to break it to you, buddy, but you live in a fallen state. You're lying and you don't understand.
Work together. We finally had some unity in the country.
But he didn't build the wall, right? That's
He
just
didn't
that's just a
complete-
matter of fact.
He didn't complete the wall.
No, but he didn't even come close. He built like 1% of it.
he didn't complete the
But
wall.
you said that was
he-
something good he did. He made one.
That was.
Since when does 1% of something you promised a good job?
I'm sorry, he didn't complete the job because his time ran out.
But the amount
And
of
as a
completion
result-
matters, right? The amount of completion matters.
I'm sorry.
The amount of completion matters. You say he didn't complete it. He didn't do 100%. But if
Right.
he did 1%, surely that's not as good as 50%. I wouldn't call that a good job. 1%?
But you're not making sense. If his
Why?
time ran out and he wasn't.
You said he built the wall, Jesse. Come on. There's no wall.
Well, let's put it this way. If this makes you feel better, he started building a wall, putting up a wall. Time
Yeah, that
ran
was
out,
useless.
Okay.
and he did not finish. And according to BBC, he did 654 miles. That's
Yeah,
Out
of
of
a
how
fuck. 600 miles out of how many miles is the Mexico-US border? 1,651 miles. And Trump got 600 miles done, and we're supposed to be like, wow, what a hero.
Money.
Yeah,
That's
no.
not. That's more than 1%.
Let's see. What percent of the wall was completed? I don't know.
Well,
458
650.
miles. What are you typing, dude?
Well, why did you say 1% and you really don't know?
Oh, sorry. You know what? It's like 25%.
But you really don't know.
Well, now I do. It's 25%.
Someone just told you?
Yes. Somebody who
So
fact checks.
why did you say 1%?
Well, I was wrong, clearly, but it's 25%.
But why did you say 1%?
It's 25%.
No, why did you
Well,
say
it's
1%?
25%.
You're not answering the question.
Well, it's a rhetorical question, is it not?
No, why did you just throw out 1% when it wasn't true?
Why did you say
Why is he not listening? This isn't the gotcha you think it is, buddy. You're asking why he said something before correcting himself. He said it because he thought it was true at the time. Now he's corrected himself, and he wants you to answer the updated question.
completed the wall when he had only completed 25% of it?
I didn't say he completed the wall. I
You
said he built the
built-
wall.
okay.
And I said he did not get a chance to complete it because I ran out of time.
Well, how are you going to, if percent is a word and words are made up, then what are we even doing here?
We're communicating.
But words don't mean anything.
You can't
We're
communicate if
communicating.
words
I got
don't
you,
mean
Jesse.
anything, dude.
Somewhat. Word doesn't. That's why you let them go in one ear and out the other one.
Let me move on here because we can go down this rabbit hole, and I love it. I love it. I love where your mind's at on all these issues. What's the deal with being gay?
Well, if that's what they want to be, there's nothing. Everybody entitled to stay into their hell if they wanted to. But if they want to overcome it, they can. They can overcome it.
If
But
they want to overcome the gay, can you overcome the gay?
if they want to stay in their hell, they can die in their hell. No big deal.
I've met very happy gay men. In fact, gay means happy, if you believe in words.
But again, they may have false happiness, but they have no peace. And again,
How can you say that?
Because if you're not overcome evil, you have no peace.
Did you overcome being gay, Jesse?
I never had to worry about overcoming that.
Okay. And then you say that gay is a cover up for evil.
Everyone that's born through their mothers have to overcome that feminine spirit. They have to overcome anger. And there are people that are into all kinds of things. We all have to be born again of the Father. And so what I'm saying to the people, if they were to really start working on themselves, because our battle is a spiritual battle, and if every human being adult human being took control of their own life as an individual and work on themselves, they can overcome all things, all these things that they think that they are, and which other evil people are trying to confirm that that's who you are because they're evil. There's nothing in life that you cannot overcome, but you got to start working on yourself. And our battle is a spiritual battle. We're not our thoughts. We're not our feelings, emotions. We're not our bodies. And we have to overcome identify with those things. And I promise you, you can be free. You can have perfect peace right here on earth.
Jesse, you helped men become straight, right? That's part of one of the projects you've worked on in your long career of philanthropy.
No one can help anyone be anything. Only God can change your life. You can't help me. I can't help you. That's why you have to. That's why you have to lead people. That's why you have to lead people in their hell.
Okay, but you worked with gay men, helping them find the path to straightness.
I work with all kinds of people: hermaphrodites, rapists, murderers, white, black.
Do you think being gay is like being a rapist or a murderer?
Rapists, murderers, white people, you know, the whole 9 yards, man.
Sure.
I think being that is a false identity, so they're lost in a false identity.
Would you rather be gay or a murderer?
I would rather be either.
But you got to choose.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You have never made a choice.
I tried to get you, Jesse, but you're too slick. You're too slick for me.
Why are you trying to get me? That's not masculine. Why you're playing a woman's role?
Excuse me, Jesse. War. There's nothing more masculine than war.
You're playing a woman's role in trying to get me. Men are not supposed to play the female game of trying to get. Men lead the way. They don't try to get. That's a woman's role.
Jesse, I'm a man and I'm doing battle. There's nothing more masculine than battle.
Who are you doing battle with?
With you.
Why? I'm not doing battle with you.
Well,
I didn't
you
even
you don't know that you aren't yet, but we're interlocutors.
And why? I thought we were friends. Why are you doing a battle with me?
We are. I'm a fan of your interviewing style, so I'm trying to exhibit some of your styles back on you. But obviously, ideologically, we are completely unaligned. It's friendly banter. But you called me a woman.
I said that if you're doing battle with me right now, you're playing the woman's game. But
is battle a woman's game?
That kind of battle is.
Oh.
Let me ask: are you a good person?
Oh, why you got to hit me with that? That's such a. Only God can say. That's how you would answer it.
And what do you say?
I say what God says.
What do you say?
What God says.
And what does God say?
I don't know. I'm not arrogant enough to presume what God would say.
And so, are you a good person?
I try to be.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
You're not answering.
I said I try to be.
You try to be what?
Oh, come on, Jesse.
You try to be what?
I try to be a good person.
By doing what?
Good people things.
Like what?
Like tucking my kids in bed at night.
Why do you call that good?
Is it evil?
Why do you call it good?
Dude, he's the best at this. Well, a big part of what you talk about is the man's role.
Why do you call that good?
What? It's the parent's role to stay at home and be present in their children's lives and to show them love and compassion.
And why do you call that good?
You're right. It is evil.
Why do you call it good?
No, you're
I
right.
think Ethan's missing it a little bit here. I think Jesse's getting at why is it good? What makes it good? Why is it good and not just neutral? That kind of a thing. I think is what he's getting at.
It is evil to kiss your bed. Kiss
I
your
never
kids
said
and
it was evil. I never said it was evil, but you said it was good, but you won't tell me why you call it good.
I just did.
Why?
Because it's nice to be nice to your kids.
Niceness, does niceness mean
Because when a parent is present for their child, it helps the child have a better psychological development and overall live a better, happier, healthier life, leading to a maximization of that human's well-being. So I would say that it's a good thing.
good?
Well, I think, well, if we're using words in any way as defined, then yes, nice does mean good.
And how's that?
Oh, come on. Let me ask you a question, Jesse. You're
But you never asked-
filibustering me.
No, I'm not. You never did answer the question of why do you call that good? Does your wife obey you?
My wife and I, we make decisions together, so I wouldn't use the word obey.
Does your wife obey you? Oh my gosh.
obey you?
If something made me uncomfortable and I expressed that to her, she would probably respect my wishes, depending on what it was. But yeah, she obeys me.
Does your wife obey you?
I just said yes, she does obey me.
Amazing.
Amazing. So alpha. Oh, Jesse, let me ask you: does your wife obey you?
No.
Beta. Got you.
Got it, man. Well, that was just about as much of a train wreck as I was expecting. It was pretty scattered and not really much substance said. But then again, that's Jesse Lee Peterson. You know, he's kind of the clown show and the entire circus. That's what makes watching him enjoyable and fun. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and watching H3H3 take on Jesse Lee Peterson. And I will see you all soon. Amazing. If you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a member today. Members get early access to videos, access to all the stream VODs, and exclusive access to emotes as well. So if you'd like to support the channel, become a member today.